It's another nice day outside here, and I got a little bit of spare cash and some spare time and lots of boredom. Obviously, I still need to fill up the rest of my shelves, so why don't you pull up a nice quick lunch or something like that, and let's go thrifting. First up is one of my local Goodwills, which is always a good place to start off. Always exciting to start a new weekend of thrifting. You never know what's out there. Case in point, back in the electronics, I happened to find a loose Model 1 Sega Genesis, the high-definition graphics edition. And for $9, that's not a terrible deal, but I already have a few of them, so I left it. The remainder of the electronics is the usual litany of discarded junk that pretty much no one wants. It would be quite sad if they were people. Stop personifying old electronics, me. The puzzles and board games are pretty picked clean today, actually. Nothing in here. Not much to choose from at all, actually. There's a hot Mama Do You Wanna license plate. An interesting little miniature grandfather clock thing. Didn't appear to be working, though. I was about to give up entirely, but over in the DVDs I found Britney's Dance Beat for the PS2. Yeah, I'm getting it. You might think I'm... Another Goodwill, and I keep coming to this one more recently because I keep finding some interesting stuff here for good deals. This is the same one that I found that version of Pokemon Y for the 3DS for cheap recently. And over in these CDs, I found a copy of Earth and Beyond, some sort of online MMO thing that I assume is probably dead by this point. Complete copy of NBA Jam for the Sega Genesis. Awesome game, I already have it. Here's an interesting one. Well, sort of unusual, I suppose. Charlie Churchmouse Super Pack. Learning that excites the mind and feeds the soul. Yeah, this is some sort of religious/edutainment title for youngsters. It's family approved, so I had to get it. Also found a pretty beat up copy of Tekken 6 missing the manual. Whatever, it's cheap and I'll get the manual online somewhere. It's an interesting little title, MLB Power Pros. Never heard of it, but it's got some interesting designs. Interesting, everything's interesting! Ah! Also found a copy of The Bigs for the PS2. This is actually a pretty sweet little baseball game. Another title aimed at kids, Marvel Superhero Squad. Never played this one, looks interesting. Walking over to the electronics section, I ran across a microwave cookbook from sometime in the early 80s. I find these things highly amusing. All of this stuff they expect you to make in a microwave and it actually tastes good? I don't frickin' think so. And over in the electronics, really not much to choose from, but I did run across this leather pouch, which was intriguing. At first I thought it was maybe like a binoculars case or something, but then I open it up, it's much more classy. Look at this! It's a Scotch and Gin. I'm not exactly sure what you technically call this kind of set or what the third bottle was, but yeah, this was pretty cool. Oh man, and one of these clocks. I always wanted one as a younger person, and I guess I'm still a younger person, so I still want one of these. This is a torsion pendulum clock. Although I don't want this one because it's friggin' ugly. Happened to see what looked like a bit of PC software in a big box. Oh no, it's McAfee virus bloat. Then I looked down and ran across a box for an Antec NSK6580 and yeah, pulled it out, and it's actually a pretty awesome PC tower case. No power supply with it, but I mean still, this would be an awesome case if I were looking to do a build just randomly and for cheap. This thing was $25 and I love Antec cases. But I don't have the room for it, so I went on to yet another Goodwill. It's time to walk inside and see what they got hiding. Like this copy of Independence Day for the PS1 that I already own, so never mind. Oh hey, Microsoft Dangerous Creatures from the Microsoft Home series. And I remember these things from the Windows 95 days, sort of an interactive video and picture thingy. Oh man, so much lamp. I see the light. All of them. Another puzzles and board games section that's been absolutely picked clean. That's disappointing. And over by the coffee maker and random junk section, I happen to see a couple intriguing boxes. First one here is Microsoft Flight Simulator for Windows 95, complete in the box. Oops, yeah, I'll take it. I only had this game loose, so that's awesome. And there was also a Graphis Exterminator gamepad for the PC. Probably would have grabbed it if it weren't $12.50. That's just a bit much for an old gamepad for me. An Acura modem by Hayes. Yeah, it's an actual Hayes internal modem. That's pretty cool. Didn't get it though. I've got no use for modems, but I did find a mouse pin. It's like literally a mouse, a ball mouse in the shape of a pen. This is some future oddware right here. No way I'm passing up something this strange for this cheap. Also happened to see this Multi-Tech CRT, which it just attracted me because it's got a cool look to it. I mean, this thing looks like almost industrial looking. Unfortunately, no cool connectors in the back. I mean, you just have UHF, VHF, that's it. And over in the glass case where I found a bunch of PS2 games here last time, and well, what do you know? There's another frickin' thing of games. There is also a PS2 Slim underneath for the cost of money, and some intriguing looking games and cases. What are those, I wonder? Well, ended up grabbing a game here called Grind Session for the PS1, the Mortal Kombat collection for the PS2. Nice! And hey, I saw this all the way back at like episode 1 of Thrifts. Ninja Gaiden 3 for the Wii U, down from $30 to $8. I'll take it. Also for the PS2, found Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves, and Ratchet Deadlocked. And those few weird games underneath, yeah, they're N-Gage games. I found Tomb Raider, Tony Hawk, and Pandemonium. $2 each complete. Now these are uncommon. I just need an N-Gage now. On to my favorite Goodwill, and hey, gotta check out that construction. And what do you know? Look, they got windows and some more stuff inside. Yeah, this place is really coming along. Checking out the glass cases up front, another Wii U game, Zombie U, for $15, as well as Watch Dogs and Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare for the 360, $30 each. If I didn't have these for X1, I probably would have grabbed them. Over in another glass case, I happen to find a PlayStation 1 here. $15, and yeah, I ended up getting it. I'll show you what I got in here later. As I was passing by the music CDs, I happened to see a copy of Fallout 1 for DOS. This thing has seen a hard life. I already have the game complete in box, though. Over by the desktop PCs, I happened to run across an Xbox 360, one of the official racing wheels for the system, and these are actually pretty sought after. They're not bad wheels. $60 was a bit much though, seeing it was incomplete and not in the greatest shape. Walking by over here, I heard screaming, saw this fire pit, looked inside, and oh, thank goodness, no burning children. I actually did find something over in the board games at this store, something called Rules of the Game. It's some weird sports trivia thing, and the box is in crappy shape, so I passed. Hey, DualShock 2 controller. Oh, it looks like it could use some Viagra or something. That's pretty limp. Mixed in with the electronic junk was a bit of electronic junk I'd never seen before. This is a Kodak Ectographic 250 audio viewer. This is actually a device that lets you display slides right here on a screen instead of projecting them up onto the wall. And you can plug in a mic and do like sort of a PA system thing on this too, apparently. Looked like this when it was in use. Interesting little thing, although I have just no use for it whatsoever. Speaking of no use, oh man, complete in box copy of Guitar Praise. This is a Christian alternative to Guitar Hero. For Windows PCs, it cost $100 when it was brand new, according to the price sticker on the bottom. It is odd, but it's too big. I got nowhere to put this useless thing. And hey, little buddy, just sitting there on your own for $1. Hey, this is a Logitech First mouse. I don't know what that is, but it's an older Logitech mouse and it's complete in the box. I'm not going to leave you just sitting there by that dark-looking Sony thing. So yeah, that PS1 I got came with a memory card and several games here, several of which I was looking for that are honestly worth the cost of everything altogether on its own, and I just donated the rest straight back to Goodwill. One more Goodwill, because why not? Over in the movies, I found something that normally I would have glanced over and put it back, but no, this is Deer Hunter 4, and other than having kind of a cool box with this see-through target thing on the front, it's got this message on the top, full version CD-ROM game, smaller box, right when PC game boxes went from being a big box to a small box. This is like in 2001, so this has got to be one of the earliest games to do the smaller form factor. I smell leather belts, or that's an interesting fart, I don't know. Over in the TVs, didn't find anything, but I found a set that I wanted to turn down because it was just way too darn loud. Over next to the adult diapers, I found, Art Explosion 800,000? This is one of those late 90s, early 2000s clip art packs that you could use with your print programs or whatever. 19 gigabytes on 34 CD-ROMs. Seriously, you gotta see this. Look at these. There's like 10 of these packs like this. This is absurd. And this frickin' dictionary of clip art pictures. I mean, just wow. I got no use for it, and it was $15 anyway. Stuff over in the auction case once again, some knives and whatnot, as well as a pretty substantial collection of video games from, well, all sorts of eras. A lot of stuff I would have been interested in, but you know, whatever, this thing was already going for like $200 for all this, and I never win these auctions anyway. One more store while I'm out in this area, and this is one that I have not gone to in LGR Thrifts yet. It's a place called Cash Masters. Used to be called Cash Converters. And hey, 25% off of everything sale. Looks like I came at the right time. They're always having a sale. This is kind of like a pawn shop. You bring in stuff and you sell it to the store and they'll give you money, except that they don't actually do any pawning, so you can't just go and get it back. It's just buying and selling, and yeah, they got all sorts of stuff, and jewelry and cell phones and a crap load of guitars and other musical instruments and equipment. Lots and lots of speakers for cars and home audio systems, power tools, outdoor and survivalist gear, and knives and pellet guns. One of these frickin' things, I don't know, it's called the Challenger. It reminds me of covering irritating stick. I totally want one of these someday. And the reason I stop by here every so often is a pretty substantial video game selection. Most of the stuff is pretty averagely priced. I mean, they check eBay for everything that they buy, so you're gonna get eBay prices for a lot of this stuff. But with the sales that they have going on, like seriously all the time, like you can see all their PSP games right now are 50% off. And the fact that you can haggle with these guys because a lot of this inventory stays for a long time and they're usually pretty cool about it. And you also don't have to worry about shipping or any of that. Yeah, it's not a bad deal is what I'm saying. Or at least if you find a good deal, it's not a bad deal. I mean, that's obvious. But yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff in here. They even had a copy of Jurassic Park Operation Genesis for the PS2. $59 for the bare disc. And like I said, it's pretty average prices. But take into account all the different sales that you run across, and yeah, it's not bad. A good selection of modern and slightly less modern games in here as well. Nintendo Wii, PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, well, Xbox Original, and PS2 games in here as well. And GameCube, I guess. There's not too many GameCube games. I occasionally find something in here, but I don't know. Today I just wasn't feeling like going through all this stuff again. They almost always have a nice selection of consoles as well. $35 Sega Genesis Model 2 in here, Sony PlayStation 2s, Wii's, Xbox 360s, Wii U, GameCube, PS3, even an Atari 7800 complete in the box. $80, but yeah, you know, buying locally and all that. Anyway, ended up coming away with a copy of You Don't Know Jack for the PS1 and some PSP games, the Need for Speed Undercover, Wipeout Pure, Patapon, God of War Chains of Olympus, Lumines, and yeah, I know how to pronounce it now, thank you comment section from a while back, Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII, and Every Extend Extra. Was able to haggle a few of these down to absolutely no cost at all, so that was awesome. And here's the bounty from episode 8 of LGR Thrifts. 1 console, 2 mouse devices, 27 games, 1 Dangerous Creatures, and a total of about $66. Pretty decent little haul for a thrifting run. Several in here that I have been after for quite some time, and some stuff like the N-Gage, like, seriously, that just surprised me to see at all. I would really like to get a taco sometime and try those out. And that mouse pin, like, man, seriously, I gotta do an episode of Oddware on that. That's just so stupid looking. I can't wait. Probably gonna end up giving the PS1 to a good home because I've already got a couple of these anyway that are in better condition. Fun stuff as always for me. I just love going out on the weekends or whenever really and going out and finding whatever. Does that make sense? I just like doing this. It's like an adventure every time you step out your front door and in through the doors of some place that may or may not smell like poo. It's worth it. Just hold your nose and wade through the randomness and junk until you find some oddities and maybe even a bit of solid gold here and there. And it looks like you guys are following my advice there and going out and still doing it on your own too. You keep sending me pictures, and that's awesome. Unfortunately, at this point, I am getting so many pictures on Twitter and Facebook and whatever that I cannot show them all at the end of this video, or else it would just keep on going for like another 2 or 3 minutes. I assure you that I see all of them and I usually reply or favorite or whatever just to let you know that I saw it. And that's great. Keep them coming. I do love to see them, even if I can't show them at the end of these videos all the time. It's just insanely cool to know that this has inspired people to go out there and start looking. You get some good stuff, I get some cool pictures. Pretty sweet deal if you ask me. And if you enjoyed this episode of LGR Thrifts, I have done 7 others prior to this at this point in time, so why not go and check out my channel and take a few of those into your eyeballs and your eardrums and wherever else in your body that you inhale my content. You can also subscribe because I do more of these every single week, and a lot more LGR thrifts are coming as I get around to making them. And of course, making them is sort of determined by my finding things, or at least finding interesting stuff to show, so sometimes if there's a bit of a delay between them, my apologies. I am kind of at the whim of my area. I'll keep them coming as long as I keep finding stuff. You can also check me out on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, and yeah, send me pictures and all that good stuff too. And as always, thank you for watching.